Well, we know where we're going, but we don't know where we've been. And we know what we're knowing, but we can't say what we've seen. And we're not.
Do those runners look exhausted? Well, they should have done. Yesterday they ran 65 kilometres over a mountain on Flinders Island. They're just about to complete a run of 33 kilometres over a mountain range here at Coles Bay. And tomorrow they'll run another 30-odd kilometres up Mount Wellington and back to Hobart. This is, and welcome to, the Bogues Original Three Peaks Race.
I see us riding to low head in the initial stages, and we've only got 2 hours of outgoing tide to go out with, so if we get stuck on an incoming tide and pedalling out, it's going to be hard work at the other end. But
I wish there was some bloody wind, that's my thought. Yeah, it's been blowing like blazes for the last 4 weeks, and then it's just stopped in the last 3 days, I suppose. So that's a bit unfortunate. I'm hoping we'll get a bit of a blow before the weekend's out.
Well, Jim, this is the first time you've done the Three Peaks, isn't it?
Yep.
What are your expectations? What do you know about it?
Well, I heard it was a sailing race, but it looks like we might be pedalling our way all the way to Hobart.
We'll be putting on our bike shorts in another 10 minutes or so. It doesn't worry us much. Everybody's going to have to do the cycling, so it's just a terrific leveller.
The quietest start in the 7-year history of the Australian Three Peaks race. The lull before a storm of drama over the next 4 days. A combination of pedal power, yachting expertise and body-breaking mountain running will need to be harnessed for a winner to emerge.
We're on a ride to nowhere, but come on inside.
With any means of propulsion allowed other than an engine and outside assistance, pedal power has become synonymous with this event. With barely a whisper of breeze at the start, questions are quickly answered. Just who has engineered the best pedal power system?
Oh, I've been on the mountain bike with the kids every morning, no worries.
MMI Insurance, the biggest yacht in the race, has skipper Dr. John Saul calling for divine intervention. Ericsson and Adams Apple have a more fail-safe system and are the early leaders, doing just 3.5 knots. Even so early in the race, skippers are asking plenty of their crews.
We've only got 18 hours of this to go.
That wasn't necessary. Prayers for wind were answered. As the breeze strengthened from the northeast, MMI powered her way to the lead. The Bogues Original Three Peaks race is held around the coastline of the Australian island state of Tasmania. On the first leg, the wind carries the fleet northeast to Flinders Island. There, runners from each crew will climb to the summit of Mount Strzelecki and return to Lady Barron. It's then 100 nautical miles by sail to Coles Bay and a 33-kilometre run through the Freycinet National Park. The final yacht challenge to Hobart. On the way, a tricky canal shortcut which is decided past races. The final climb is to the summit of Mount Wellington and back to Hobart's waterfront and the finish. The race and adventure have just begun.
Well, after extremely quiet conditions for the start, the forecast is for the winds to increase to between 15 and 20 knots overnight. Now, if that happens, the first yacht should arrive at Lady Barron on Flinders Island tomorrow morning around daybreak.
Here is where time is on our side. Take you there, take you there.
Day 2 of the 1995 Bogues Original Three Peaks race, Easter Saturday, a sight that spelt the end for the catamaran King Island Dairies Clipsal.
Well, we don't really know how it came about, but yeah, there was harmonics up and down the mast. It started whipping badly, and bang. Well, shocking, diabolical, but we'll live with it. It's happened.
Like the mast, Robin Chamberlain's fourth attempt in the race snapped like a twig. After being in 5th place on the final stretch to Lady Baron, he and his crew could now do nothing but watch the opposition disappear over the horizon. Through Franklin Sound, the fleet tacked looking for an advantage. MMI Insurance was first to Lady Baron at 8 a.m, an hour ahead of the nearest rival.
Oh, pretty good, yeah, we were pleased. Where's everyone else? Did we have a good run? Were we well ahead?
Oh, it's great. I mean, the ideal time to get out is around 3 o'clock, so we're not going to be too far away from that before the tide turns, so it's going to be easy running all daylight and get out prior to the tide really getting nasty, so we'll get a good run out of here. All going well.
At the start of each running leg, survival packs are checked before the athletes begin their part of this gruelling team event. Southern Cross News was second to arrive. All except one entry arrived within 2.5 hours.
A bit nervous at the moment. I've never run quite this far in my life, so yeah, I'm quite anxious.
37-year-old Joyce Salvona and 24-year-old Angela Mudge are two of Scotland's best mountain runners. They were well prepared. The race was now on the first mountain, a daunting task, 65 kilometres to the summit of Mount Strzelecki and return.
So they've gone right across almost as far as you can see on that side, and then they start going back up.
It's hours away from the cheering and supportive crowds. The runners pound the almost deserted roads and bush tracks. John Jacoby, running for Southern Cross News, is the mountain king of the Three Peaks, record holder. His ability to continue on through pain is legendary. What goes through the mind of such an athlete?
Yeah. If I'm allowed to say that.
We're just going through a bit of a low.
Hey?
Just going through a bit of a low, eh?
Yeah. Just the legs are really heavy after the mountain. I don't know whether they'll fire up again, but I'm hoping. Oh, you just plod along and try and get in a bit of a trance, I suppose.
John Jacoby and Jim Cotter left Lady Baron an hour and 20 minutes behind the leaders. They've got two aims. One is to break the Strzelecki run record, and two, to take the overall lead.
No, mainly to catch them. That's the first goal, and then if you do catch them, well, then I suppose you worry about either trying to open up a bigger lead or have a crack at a record if it looks possible. It's a bit difficult on this run because they've gone the other way. But
An hour and a quarter looks a lot to pull back, though.
I think they had about 40, 45 minutes on us at the bottom of the mountain, did they?
Yep.
Yeah, I've only got 2 hours to get that, and there's no way.
Against seemingly an unbeatable lead, Jacoby and partner New Zealander Jim Cotter hauled in the MMI Insurance runners Webb and Oldfield. It's such heroic feats and the search for thrills that brings the athletes like Jacoby back.
What keeps you coming back wanting to do this?
Oh, they keep asking me back. Oh, it's good fun. I love the sailing. I'm waiting for a decent blow so we can really get scared shitless out there in the water. They tell me these stories of surfing down waves at 25 knots. That's what I want to do.
They completed the run in 5 hours 42 minutes, 15 minutes outside the record. Southern Cross News left for Coles Bay with a 30-minute lead. For those still on the mountain, there was little to look forward to. No massage and guaranteed good sleep ahead. More likely, another 12 hours of pitching and rolling at sea. The second fastest Strzelecki run time, an hour slower than the leaders, included a courageous effort by Dave Ross, completing the run with his arm in a sling after dislocating his shoulder, and Southern Cross Television departed in third place. Female Salvona and Mudge lifted Catamaran Hog's Breath Cafe from 9th to 5th, and Haphazard's Ross Edmonds and Mark Goodyer took their team from 6th to 4th.
There's a city in my mind, come along and take that ride, and it's alright, baby, it's alright. There's a city in my mind, come along and take that ride, and it's alright, baby, it's alright. And it's very far away, but it's growing day by day, and it's alright.
Overnight between Lady Baron and Coles Bay, Southern Cross News was able to comfortably maintain a 5 nautical mile gap back to MMI Insurance.
It was expected that the bigger and faster MMI Insurance would have passed Southern Cross News overnight. But nearly 20 hours after leaving Flinders Island, Southern Cross News arrived at Coles Bay first at 10:40 Easter Sunday morning.
Terrific climb on Mount Strzelecki.
Oh, great, yeah. Quite a few spits over the side, but oh, they were shaping up from the run. Got pretty crook on the run. But yeah, it was following, or pretty much following sea most of the way, and it was really nice. Not quite enough wind to surf it properly, but set on about 10 or 11 knots most of the way.
Yeah, we had a couple of good runs. About 12, 15 knots of breeze, and we're sitting on anything up to 13 knots with a bit tighter. So, yeah, it was good. It was certainly a good run. Oh, you just play it by ear a bit. The legs are certainly a bit tired and the quads are stiff, but they'll loosen up all right. And this is probably the best run in the race. Very little on the road. It's all on the tracks, which is what both Jim and I like best. And there's always a bit to look at, and you've got to concentrate the whole time, so it's a lot easier on the mind than going just trudging down the road like Flinders.
John Saul's MMI Insurance sailed into Coles Bay 35 minutes behind. The runners looked fresh, but it would take an extraordinary performance to regain the lead. 2 hours into the run, all hopes of a top placing were gone.
We were running and down the hill and he did his knee, and that's where it hurt.
Neil Sargison, who was on board as a sailor, had to fill the running vacancy.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the name of the game, isn't it, really? That's what the race is about. You know, we're a team and we've got to do it as a team.
This is a huge setback for you, isn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah. Like, we haven't sort of slept properly for 2 days now, so it's going to be a slow run, but, you know, that's what it's about.
Was it a hard decision?
No, an easy decision to make. He's the only other one on board with sand shoes.
Hog's Breath Cafe had taken over third place on the water, and with MMI's problems, the two teams were now level in the battle for second place.
Yeah, I think the weather suits us a lot better yesterday. We found too hot, really.
And with the arrival of Southern Cross Television mid-afternoon, there was a three-way battle. Dave Ross and Bruce Chetwynd are experienced runners with success in other multi-endurance events. But Ross's injury made the battle for third surrounded in uncertainty.
What's that? Too far around.
Oh, no, it's fine. It just, there's no strength in it. It's all right if I keep it in here. So,
have you on this one, do you think?
I don't know, ask me in a few hours.
Even though Dave Ross has got a dislocated shoulder, he's still very quick, and you know they're on to one of their reserves. So, you know, I'd hope I'd be out well before them.
Jacoby and Cotter completed the run, and Southern Cross News left for Hobart before the fourth-placed yacht had even arrived. The race record was now well and truly under threat. as Richard Edmonds and his crew hoisted a spinnaker and prepared for a fast run down the southeast coast. Naiad Davies Shepherd, Patrick, Adams Apple, Ericsson, Haphazard and Stackpool Hire offloaded runners before nightfall. The running leg is 33 kilometres over the Freycinet Peninsular Ranges. It's a tough bushwalking track at the best of times. As the runners pound through the night, sailors must sleep if they can.
I think this is the worst part of the race. I mean, we're sitting here and we're jogging around, we've got breeze to sail by and we can't go sailing, so we're sort of cooling our heels, waiting for them. We've been told that they're not far away, so that should make it a little bit easier.
Get a bit towy?
Terribly towy, awfully towy.
Haphazard's Nick Edmonds, a former winner of the Three Peaks, contemplated his brother Richard making it a double for one of Tasmania's best-known yachting families.
So, you know, you get into things what you get out of things what you put in, so I think he's earned it. He's been in every race, so that's good.
A third fastest run time from Mark Goodger and Wayne Byron put Haphazard fifth out of Coles Bay, while Naiad runners Garth Foley and Dennis Clark took 18 hours to return to Coles Bay after being forced to camp overnight in wind, fog and rain after losing their way. The team was placed fifth before the run, but was the last to leave Coles Bay. Out of a windy night came the most feared words in yachting. Newspaper Taxi, the smallest yacht in the event, lost its rudder and started taking water at 1:15 in the morning. Two other competitors who had left Coles Bay and a high-speed launch headed for the yacht, 2.5 nautical miles off Cape Torval. As fortune has it, a tanker was also proceeding up the coast and called into the rescue.
About 2 o'clock, we were advised, the crew advised us that they had taken to the life raft and the yacht had in fact sunk. The tanker came in close and was able to effect a rescue of the crew and their life raft, and they have all called home to their family, and they're all in good spirits and no injuries at all. I'm delighted to say about that.
And Angus said he was really only in the water for an hour, and he said even though they were scared, he didn't feel that they were at risk, and he's a very sensible boy, and I know that he would have done the safety first thing first.
Yeah, the rudder stop appeared to shear sometime around midnight-ish over. The yacht started to fill with water. We were pumping the bilges and we had buckets going out. We let 3 distress flares go to centre our position and got into the life raft about 10 past 2, and then at 2:15 the yacht sank over.
It's been a pretty big morning for a lot of people, and our operations have worked particularly well. We've had plans for an occasion like this. We'd hoped we'd never have one, but it's been very reassuring to me as race director to know how competently all these people have handled it, and I'm full of praise for the great effort they've done.
As the rescue drama unfolded, race leader Southern Cross News was powering towards victory. The Denison Canal at Dunalley has in the past cost crews victory. There are two choices: take the treacherous canal shortcut or take the long trek around Tasman Island. Luck had been on Richard Edmonds' side all race. There was no need for it to change, and Southern Cross News slid perfectly through the canal. The wind disappeared in the Derwent and pedal power was needed to glide the purple machine to the Hobart dockside. She arrived in Hobart at 3:07 and Jacoby and Cotter prepared to set off in the dark.
What was your sail like from Coles Bay? Yeah, good run down and got through the canal pretty well. Yes, considering.
Right, when you're ready, gentlemen. Nah, he's the one going. Go.
Despite what seemed an unbeatable lead, there still wasn't time to relax. Jacoby and Cotter had one last enormous hurdle to overcome. They ran straight into a blizzard at the summit of Mount Wellington. The cold turned to sleet, turned to snow. But the pair continued to astound followers and the opposition. They completed the 35 kilometres in just 3 hours and 14 minutes. The rest of the crew, skipper Richard Edmonds, Toby Edmonds and Phil O'Sine joined them to cross the finish line as dawn was breaking over Hobart.
Everything fell into place on this one, you know. I always reckon you've got to have that 20% luck, and we had it. 50%. And that's sort of timing, you know, timing on the canal and timing going out the sounds at Flinders Island and all that sort of... It's a big help if you get there at the right time.
Richard Edmonds, a veteran of all the 7 Three Peaks races, could now celebrate.
Thanks for a top effort.
Yeah, thank you.
Southern Cross News completed the 600-kilometre endurance challenge in 2 days, 16 hours, 13 minutes and 30 seconds. No run or sailing records were broken, but the overall time was by an incredible 6 hours.
Oh, beauty. Yeah, and to break the record, that's the icing on the cake. Yeah, terrific.
Very proud moment. I suppose you've got a fantastic crew to thank for it.
Oh, yes, yeah, no, look, they did a top effort, top running, top sailing, and also the backup crew. Yeah, gee, they did a terrific job as well, and they're always there, and, you know, it sort of helps make it go, make it a top event.
Southern Cross Television arrived in Hobart incredibly nearly 3 hours after Southern Cross News had claimed victory. Haphazard arrived in 5th place. Its runners turned in the fastest Mount Wellington run, beating Jacoby and Cotter's time by nearly 25 minutes. The race's only 2 female runners on board Hog's Breath Cafe completed the last leg in 3 hours and 25 minutes, an effort which lifted their team to 3rd place in the final standings. MMI Insurance was forced to sail the long route around Tasman Island because of her deep draft, thus missing out on the canal shortcut. Skipper Dr. John Saul also discovered that the infamous pair of sand shoes fitted and took on the running duty alongside Jerry Oldfield for the final ascent. Of the 16 yachts that began the event, 14 finished. 1 was dismasted. 1 sank in dramatic circumstances. 2 runners spent a night in freezing conditions atop Mount Freycinet after losing their way. Another athlete completed 100 kilometres of the running with an injured shoulder, an effort which enabled his team to claim 2nd place overall. The Bogues Original Australian Three Peaks Race, an event revered as not only a race but also an adventure. It certainly lived up to its reputation.